that is unfolding in Barcelona, which I thought was very relevant for what is going on in South Africa. Because as you know, we're in this messy grey area where we don't really know where we stand with the clubs, and it might be a very long time, maybe 18 months to 2 years before we get an outcome of the Haze Club case. So what happened in Barcelona, as you can see with that headline, is the cannabis clubs have been dealt a blow by the federal government. Okay, so remember that Spain has the various provinces, the various areas that are self-governing to a point, but then the rest of the laws are left up to Madrid. So what we find now is a clash between the laws in Catalonia and the big laws as established by their Supreme Court in their capital of Madrid. So just to bring you up to speed with what's happening there, part of Barcelona's charming appeal is its concentration of hundreds of cannabis clubs, and don't we know that? Jules and I visited Barcelona quite a few times, and we always try to fit in as many clubs as possible, and they are very, very special spaces indeed. The Supreme Court dealt another blow to the legal loophole that allowed around 200 local cannabis clubs to continue in operation. Now, we didn't really understand, so I got hold of Kenzie, our friend in Barcelona and our roving reporter and Fields of Green for All ambassador.
Didn't Kenzie actually write our DPC original booklet for us?
Exactly. So
yes.
Kenzie helped us in 2019 to launch the Dagga Private Clubs initiative and our first little booklet that came out. And he also wrote most of the section on Dagga Private Clubs in our manifesto. And he lives in Barcelona, so he knows what's going on the ground.
Yeah.
Now, as they say, to cut a long story short, what happened is that in Catalonia, which is the province where Barcelona is, they decided to respect the privacy of the people and allow the clubs to operate in terms of freedom of association. And that freedom of association allowed people to congregate as long as the places in which they congregated were safe and were covered by certain bylaws. So you could operate a cannabis club, and when the authorities came to check up on you, they would only check up on, have you got enough ventilation? Have you got 2 lots of toilets for men and for women? Is your kitchen clean? That type of thing. But the weed, they never looked at the weed. Okay. Then what happened? Now that law was, there was a very conservative government. Then a more liberal government came in Catalonia, and they then adjusted those laws a little bit to allow the cannabis clubs to continue. Then some of the clubs got very upset with all of these officials coming to check their ventilation and their toilets. So they appealed to the court, and they said these laws are too strict. And it messed it up for everybody. Because then the city hall in Barcelona, their particular municipality, said, well, we can't deal with this, we're going to take it to Madrid. So they took it to Madrid, and now they've clamped down on the clubs again. And they said, yeah, well, it's all very well, the ventilation and the toilets, but what about the weed? You're ignoring the weed. So they're now accusing the government in Catalonia of being complicit in illegal cannabis trading. So here you have a liberal government who's in a terrible position because they want the people to have their cannabis clubs, but they don't want to be seen as being supporting illegal activity. So it's a mess, just like in South Africa where we've got all these grey areas in court cases.
So somebody carried their way out of a really good thing that they had going.
Yes, because some busybody who thought that they know it all, you know, we know those kind of people, they know it all, they know how to run it, went and messed it up for everybody else by saying, we don't want you to come and check our air conditioning. So it sounds quite complicated, but I thought that seeing as we get so many inquiries when it comes to cannabis clubs, and it really is a subject that is so close to our hearts, that I would just fill everybody in on what is going on in Barcelona. myself and some of the team belong to an international cannabis social clubs group, and we know that in Belgium all is not quite as rosy as they would hope it to be. So watch this space. And I know that during August we would like to get the dear Patty Pompous onto the Hotbox show.
Okay.
We've got it on our wish list because she really is an authority on cannabis social clubs, and she also lives in Spain. So look forward to that during August, which is our Women's Month. And we're going to be interviewing lots of interesting people and women in cannabis.
Yes, we
So
are.
if there's something you would like to know about cannabis clubs, feel free to contact us via the Fields of Green for All website. You can call Charles on our 24-hour arrest helpline, but you can also call him during office hours to ask your cannabis club questions, or send us an email or a contact form.
Yeah, correct.
That was quite a mouthful. Update on clubs.
So Barcelona's laws have always been a lot like ours in terms of the privacy.
They have,
The privacy.
and
Yeah.
those laws were set down in 1967 because that was at the end of Franco's totalitarian dictatorship. And they were so scared of the people being oppressed again that Spain introduced very liberal privacy laws. And you know, we in South Africa are really admired by the rest of the world for achieving privacy in cannabis before anything else. That was the upside.
Let
you
us
know.
try not to Karen our way out of it, please.
Yes, and we don't know everything and we don't know all the answers, so we just have to take it a step of the way.
Yeah.
If anybody comes to you and says that they will help you open up a club that is 100% illegal, is 100% legal,
Yeah, they're lying.
don't listen, because nobody's got all the answers to this question yet. Just wait, keep it small.
It's coming.
Keep
It's
it
coming.
private.
It's
coming.
coming. Keep it small.
But
keep it
be
private.
patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the end of our Fields of Green for All update.